Welcome to Bristol, Connecticut and Lake Compounce, the oldest amusement park in the country. Now, you don't really see much of it from the parking lot. It's one of the unique things about the place. You actually have to walk up a path on the right, and that will take you over to this area right here. They'll have a little map of the park, and there's an entrance for employees off to the right. But then you follow along this path, and you'll get to a tunnel, and the tunnel runs underneath Lake Avenue, which directly abuts the park. This is one of the most unique entrances to any park in the United States. And at the tunnel, they have security guards there for your bag check-in. So we won't waste our time checking in our bag. We'll just, through the magic of video, pass right through it. And that brings us to this spectacular entrance, one of the prettiest park entrances anywhere, with the Wildcat roller coaster in front and downtime, and the whole facade lining Main Street. Also, there's this beautiful round flower garden with the carousel horse in the middle of it. We've just walked right past the ticket booths, and now let's pass right into the park. And I'm taking you a little further south down the Main Street to show you this sign which proudly proclaims that it is America's oldest operating amusement park. So let's walk north along Main Street right here. Behind us is the water park area. As you can see, there's lots of shade, there are lots of beautiful plantings, and the buildings are really colorful. The park is a delightful feast for the eyes. Over on the right is the sweet shop, and there's a really nice ice cream shop there. And over on the left are a whole series of game concessions. On the right, you can see the entrance. And then let's take a look behind us. And down there, if you walk through that, that would take you to the south end of the park where the water park is. We're going to keep walking north and make a big counterclockwise sweep of the park. There's the potato patch on the left. The famous Kennywood potato patch French fries, which are all fresh cut French fries. Quite delicious. Over on the right is the Emporium, which is the big gift shop in the park, and that's also the park exit. And then also, further off on the right there, are drink stations. Lake Compounce offers free drinks all day with admission. There's part of the Wildcat roller coaster. And there's part of Circus World, the Kiddieland section of the park. It's quite extensive, very colorful. We're going to take a walk through there. I'm going to first take a sweep up on the left here. That big building you see in front of you, that's the back of Ghost Hunt, which is the big interactive dark ride the park has. And underneath that clock, every hour, Lucifer, the main villain of Ghost Hunt, comes out to try to scare the children. The Wave Swinger is just to our left there. And we're going to walk around the back of the Wave Swinger. There are some cafe tables in the shade for munching on your potato patch French fries. And I want to take a little walk through Circus World to show you what that looks like. The path that we would have taken on the left would have just met up with this anyway. So, there's a stage where they perform shows for kids. Little Critters is the bumper car arena. You can see the Sky Coaster there and Revolution. And as you can see, as I mentioned, the rides are very colorful. It's a nice layout and a great place for small children to hang out. And over on the right, you can see some examples of the beautiful landscaping that's in the park. And there's a kiddie wave swinger for them. And that takes us back onto the main path. And there's the Revolution in front of us. Now over on the left are some more paths, two separate paths that take you up into another section of the park, but we're going to make a big swing around and meet up with those paths. Over here is a stage where you can see some acrobat shows. And in front of us is Zoomerang, the park's big boomerang roller coaster. And over there on the left is Pirate, beautifully landscaped pirate ship. And in front of us is Zoomer's Gas and Go. It's a car ride, a little 50s themed car ride, very nicely themed. Let's take a peek inside. Nice hot rod. You can see at night they actually have a drive-in theater there that can play videos. And now in front of us are the American Flyers, a flying scooter ride. And if you would follow a path off to the right during the Halloween season, that would bring you to the Haunted Graveyard, which is a massive half-hour walk-through funhouse that benefits juvenile diabetes. That runs on weekends in the fall. Parkside Diner is now on our right. There's another path off to the left that takes you down toward the Sky Coaster. The entrance to the pirate ship ride is there as well. We're going to keep walking in a big circle. There's Sawmill Plunge, which is a really nice flume ride. And this big white column in front of us is one of the stanchions for the Sky Coaster. And right here is Twister, which is a great spin and barf ride for the kids. And now in front of us is Thunder and Lightning. It's the S&S Screaming Swing ride. And there's the Ferris wheel. Notice the park is set right against the mountain, which is going to come in handy for Boulder Dash, which I'll talk about in a minute. But it's actually a very narrow midway. And now in front of us is the Enterprise.
Which way was she coming? What was she buying?
And let's take a little spin down this path here. And there's the pizza place and the Pig House Barbecue. And the slush works in front of us. There's the entrance to Sky Coaster. And you can see the Revolution in the distance there. That's the other path that we had looked at when we were walking down below. And there's Ghost Hunt, which is a really fun, interactive haunted house dark ride. Not too scary for little kids. And that's the back of the Wildcat roller coaster. And there goes the Wildcat. And now we're at the entrance of probably the greatest ride in the park, Boulder Dash. A phenomenal wooden roller coaster that's built into the side of the mountain. And well worth the trip to the park just to ride that roller coaster. And now we're heading south on the midway between the Wildcat and Boulder Dash. This is the photo booth for Boulder Dash, the exit of the ride. You can see the brake run there off in the distance. And watch the coaster go up the hill here. Over on the left is a really nice ice cream shop. Over on the right is Downtime, the park's drop tower. And then a row of game booths. And in front of us now is La Fiesta, which is a Mexican-themed restaurant, and the Funnel Cake Factory. There's the entrance to Downtime. The minute hand of that clock doesn't seem to be working today, but normally it actually revolves around that big clock. And there's the blue train for Boulder Dash coming back to the station. And there's Wipeout over on the right. We're at the back of La Fiesta now, and that's where they have more drink stations. Again, pretty nice. Free drinks all day. And over on the right here is the bumper car building. And on the left is the entrance to the Wildcat, and in front of us is Pink's, the burger chain. And the big pavilion you see is the park's 1893 carousel. It's a mixed carousel, has some loof, some caramel horses on it. It also usually has a really nice working band organ. The day I was there, they were running a recording. There's a path over to the right, and that takes you down between the big dance hall and Boulder Dash. But we're going to circle around a bit. And there's the Starlight Ballroom, and they usually run shows in there. It's a beautiful old pavilion. That's the oldest structure in the park. Now in front of us is Clipper Cove, which is a part of the huge water park that Lake Compounce has. If you were to follow the path on the left, that would take you to where we began this tour at the sign proclaiming Lake Compounce as the oldest park in the country. And the green tube you can see is Mammoth Falls. And you can see the building far in the distance back there. The water park just keeps going back further and further. You'll see more of it later. On the left is Harborside Pizza, which serves really good pizza. And this is the Crock Pot, which is part of the ballroom, but is really the restaurant in the park. Let's take a walk through. The ballroom would be up the stairs. The Crock Pot is actually inside. They have this huge patio out here where you can sit, and there you can see a lot more of the water park. And we finally see the lake. There's one of the park's signatures, that lighthouse. That's a water slide. And there's a lazy river ride just below us. As you can see, this is a really big patio where you can dine outside. Following this path will join us up with the other path you saw to the right of the carousel. You can see people lined up for the tube ride there. The name of the lazy river is Crocodile. Beautiful landscaping. And in front of us is the return leg of Boulder Dash. There it goes. This end sequence features an amazing triple up. You got 3 bumps taking you up at high speed. No way you can remain in your seat. And now over on the left here is another path, and this will take you down toward the water park. And this big building is a trolley barn for the Lake Compounce trolley. And it's amazing. It's actually an electric trolley from the 1930s. And it's one way to get to the south end of the park. This path we're going to walk on will take you there. But there are a couple other ways. The train will take you there and the trolley will take you there. They used to have a boat, but I didn't see it in operation when I was there. And you can see all that construction going on when I shot this video. They're massively expanding the water park area on the east end of the park. So let's take a stroll along this path alongside Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash is literally built into the mountainside, so it climbs the cliffs, especially when you go up the lift hill. The lift hill goes straight up the side of the mountain and then comes down and follows the rocky outcroppings all along the hillside. There she goes. I like walking down this path simply to watch Boulder Dash go by. There's another shot of the enormous amount of construction going on over there.
Here is the Wildcat.
No, sorry, it's Boulder Dash. Now this gives you an idea of why it's called Boulder Dash. Notice these massive rocks, and they implanted the footers of the ride directly into the rocks. So as you can tell, this is a pretty long walk. So if you don't have the stamina to make it this far, you can take the trolley or the train. But if you want a little exercise out in the beautiful weather, then this is a nice peaceful way to get down to this end of the park. And over here on the left, you can see that's where the trolley stops. It's not a long ride. It just takes you right to this end of the park, and that's it. Now over on the right is one of my favorite rides in the park, the Sky Ride. It's a half-hour ride up the side of the mountain and across the mountain range. It's absolutely beautiful, very peaceful, and pretty stunning views. It's also the highest capacity ride in the park. The view as you come over that hill will knock your socks off. Oh, and here comes the trolley. Over there is a nice little deck where you can eat your ice cream from the little ice cream shop. And in front of us now is the Thunder Rapids raft ride. It's one of the greatest river raft rides ever built. No exaggeration. It's a lot of fun and you will get completely drenched. And over there is a golf challenge, and yes, you're trying to hit a ball onto that little tiny island. Good luck. I don't know what they're offering as a prize when I was there for this filming, but in the past they used to offer a season pass if you were able to get a hole-in-one. There comes one of the rafts back into the station. Again, some really nice landscaping that they did on the river raft ride, incorporating some of the park's natural boulders that were already there and working the trough of the ride around the boulders. Now you might notice that this area of the park has become much quieter. That's because there's really not much down here. It comes to a dead end, essentially, and the picnic groves are all located here. So usually the people who come here are the people who have outings. There's also, over on the right, you can see people coming down. That's the entrance to the picnic area. There's also a really nice overlook for the river raft ride up there, where you can stand and watch the ride go through its paces. They look wet. And that is pretty much all of the park. From here, we're going to keep walking because I want to show you where you pick up the train. If you've come down this far, you can either walk all the way back, or you could take the trolley, or you could take the train. And here's where the train station is. Usually what I do with my wife is once we've ridden the river raft ride, we hop on the sky ride to dry off. And then we hop the train back to the front of the park. So again, over on the right are more picnic pavilions and catering areas. And there is the train station. Now, I think, I'm just speculating here, I don't know, but when I made this video, you have all the construction over there, and the construction ends at the other end of the lake by the train station. So perhaps the park is finally going to connect the west end with the east end. So you actually could walk to the water park section from this area instead of coming to a dead end. But that's just my speculation in 2014. And there's the train station entrance. Now, if you kept going straight down from the train station, you would find a path, and that would lead you to the edge of the water where the paddle wheel boat used to dock. And so here we are, at the far south end of the park. And I'm not going to walk all the way back to the other end, and I won't take the train because I have videos of taking the train if you want to see that on my YouTube channel. So that concludes our tour of Lake Compounce. I hope you have a chance to come out here sometime and visit this beautiful New England park.